John Joseph Merlin, the inventor of roller skates, didn't practice stopping before debuting his invention. He ended up smashing into a huge mirror. During the Cold War, FBI agent Robert Hansen was tasked with finding a mole in the FBI who was working with the KGB. It turned out Hansen was that mole. One of the popes tried to actually ban sneezing. Seriously. Pope Urban VIII thought sneezing was too similar to orgasms, so he banned the sale of tobacco, which was thought to induce sneezing. The CIA made some truly amazing attempts to assassinate Fidel Castro, including trying to kill him with an exploding seashell. Highlights including giving Castro poisoned cigars, gifting him a scuba suit lined with a skin-eating fungus, and stabbing him with a poison needle hidden inside a pen. None of these methods worked, and several were scrapped before even being attempted. First ever recorded human flight in the UK was that of an English monk, who made himself wings, jumped off a tower, glided for a bit, and promptly crashed and broke both of his legs. In World War I, the Germans disguised a cruise ship as a British warship in order to execute surprise attacks on the British Royal Navy. It worked until the ship accidentally came across a real ship it was disguised as. Oops. Juan Garcia, also known as Agent Garbo, was a Spanish national who hated the Nazis so much he volunteered to spy for them, but actually spent the whole time spying for the British for a year. He sent the Nazis false information about the British military operations and strategic locations. Despite the fact that he had never even seen or been to Britain, in fact he was just hanging out in Lisbon and making everything up. He almost blew his cover when he said that the Scottish people are obsessed with wine. A French farmer tried to sue some rats, like actual rats, for eating his barley. The rats won the case and were acquitted. Here is a real-life picture of the rat attending court. In the 2015-2016 New Zealand flag referendums, where New Zealand voted on a new flag for the country, one of the highest voted results was an image of a kiwi firing lasers from its eyes. In World War II, the Russians trained dogs to run under tanks with time bombs on their backs, called anti-tank dogs. But the Russians trained the dogs on Russian tanks, so when they set them free on the battlefield, the dogs turned around and started blowing up the Russian tanks instead of the German tanks. Not one, but two kings of France died by smashing their heads on the top part of a door. Louis III was pursuing a lady who was actually trying to escape him on his horse on August 5th, 882. When she passed the door, the horse went through, but not the king, who broke his skull and died instantly. At least they didn't ever have to experience stepping on a plug. A man from New York missed his friends who were fighting in Vietnam, so he travelled thousands of miles to track them down in the combat zone to personally give them beer and letters from home. He even wrote a book about it called The Greatest Beer Run Ever. My friends don't even send me a birthday card. Jack Daniel, yep, that Jack Daniel, died from an infected stub toe caused by him kicking a safe containing money which he had forgotten the combination to. The second person to go down Niagara Falls in a barrel and live later perished by slipping on an orange peel. At least he didn't die by slipping on a banana peel. That would have been ridiculous. President Andrew Jackson had a pet parrot. Jackson was also a very vulgar man, and his parrot learned a lot of curse words from him. At Jackson's funeral, they had to remove the parrot from the funeral as it was cursing too much.